What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Commander deck tech. This deck tech, we are doing Raggadragga, Goreguts boss. This is all dorks matter. um, each creature you control with a mana ability gets +2/+2. Whenever your creature you control with a mana ability attacks, untap it. And whenever you cast a spell, if at least 7 mana was spent to cast it, untap target creature. It gets +7/+7 and trample. Now, this is all dorks matter. We're running 27 mana dorks in this deck, okay? 27 mana dorks. It's all dorks matter. But let's jump into this real quick, guys. Like always, link for the deck tech is down below. It'll be the whole deck list. I am not going over the lands because it would just take way too long to do all the lands. But if you guys want to check out what lands I'm running and want to check out the deck for yourself, if you want to see the whole list, if that helps you, down in the description, click the link. It'll pull up the whole deck list for you guys to see it. And let me know what you guys think. Is there mana dorks maybe you would run or wouldn't run? Or would you run more mana dorks, less mana dorks? Let me know down below. It's always fun to have that discussion with you guys. But we'll slide little Raggadragga over here. Let's jump into the 1 mana dorks that we got in this deck. Llanowar Elves, Fyndhorn Elves, Elvish Mystic, and Birds of Paradise. Those are our 1 mana dorks. 2 mana dorks. We got Llanowar Loam Speaker, Whisper of the Wilds, Humble Naturalist, Paradise Druid, Poison Dart Frog, Quarian Explorer, Rada Heart to Keld, Incubation Druid, Ornithopter Paradise, Zuta Druid, Elysian Caryatid, and those are 2-drop mana dorks. For our 3-drop mana dorks, we have Circle of Dream Druid. Add a green for each creature you control. This gets pretty big pretty quick. Sumberwald Sage, Rift Sower, Greenweaver Druid, Llanowar Tribe, Elvish Archdruid. We're running a decent amount of elves in here, so that usually taps for pretty good. Llanowar Visionary, Draconic Disciple, Sisters of the Flame, a red tapper, a mana dork. You don't see those all too often. So those are our 3 mana dorks. Then we got Leafkin Avenger, Karametra's Alkaloid, and Elena, Kasig Trapper. Another red mana dork. Those are all the mana dorks we're running in the deck, guys. Then we're running a couple other creatures. Obviously, our commander cares about 7 drops, but we're running other few creatures to just help us get to the 7 drops. A Goblin Archaeomancer, Simian Spirit Guide, and Wood Elves, because you want to get these 7 drops as quick as you can. And the way I took it, I'm running 4 or 5 Hydras and a few other 7-drop cards just to really make the 7 drops. In case sometimes you might not need 7 drops. Like if your commander keeps getting counter shit, sometimes you just need 6 6s. We have a Prowling Serapopard. It can't be countered, and creature spells you control can't be countered. So it just gives our stuff some protection. Renata, Called to the Hunt. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it enters with an additional +1/+1 counter. So makes our creatures bigger. Scoot Swarm. I just thought it'd be funny to throw a Scoot Swarm in here. I'm gonna be honest with you. A Gore-Clan Rampager. It has Blood Rush. So you can pay to discard it, and target attacking creature gets +4/+4 and trample. It's a good finisher card. Otherwise, it is just a 4/4 trampler. Brawn. As long as it's in your graveyard and you control a forest, creatures you control have trample. So it will give our buff mana dorks trample, which is always nice. Grand Warlord Rada. When it has haste, and when one or more creatures you control attack, add that much more mana in combination of red or green until end step. You don't lose this mana as phases end. So just another way to kind of ramp into more stuff. This next card is MVP of the deck. This makes your commander so much better. So much better. Okay? Ashaya, Soul of the Wild. Non-token creatures you control are forest in addition to their other types. This makes all your creatures, including your commander, have a mana ability. So everything then gets +2/+2. Everything. Great card in the deck. MVP. Love this card. Best card in the deck. Next, we have a few Hydras. Let's see. I got 6 Hydras. Starting off with Goreguts. He is only a 6-drop, but Hydra spells you cast cost 4 less to cast, and whenever a creature you control becomes a target of a spell, Goreguts fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. So making your Hydra spells cost 4 less means you get to put bigger Hydras on the board. Always fun. The next Hydra also is just another way to get really beefy. Hero's Bane. Enters with 4+1/+1 counters. You can pay 4 and put X +1/+1 counters where X is its power. Now, we have all these 27 mana dorks. That's a lot of extra mana. And our commander untaps them after any attack. We could just make this really, 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 really big if we want and give it trample. Next is Ren's Run Hydra. It can be a 7-drop. Or we can reinforce it, discard it, and put X +1/+1 counters on target creature. Like our commander if you want to kill someone with commander damage. Genesis Hydra. When it enters the battlefield, when you cast Genesis Hydra, reveal the top X card to your library, and you may put a non-land permanent card with converted mana cost X or less from among them onto the battlefield. So, and then shuffle your library. And then it enters with X +1/+1 counters. So another 7-drop spell. Vastwood Hydra, when it dies, you distribute that many +1/+1 counters equal to the number of counters that were on Vastwood Hydra among any number of creatures you control, so it makes our creatures bigger. Wildwood Scourge, when 1 or more +1/+1 counters is put on a non-Hydra creature, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. So this with Renata is great to put +1/+1 counters on stuff. Greater Sandworm can't be blocked by creature 2 power or less, and you can also cycle it, but it's a 7-drop. Omnath, Locust of Rage. Another 7-drop. Landfall. It makes 5/5s. This with Ashaya, Soul of the Wild. All your creatures enter. Boom. More 5/5s. Boom. More 5/5s. And we're playing a lot of mana dorks. We have a lot of access to mana. Avenger of Zendikar. Probably everybody's favorite 7-drop. And also works great with Ashaya. Then we have an Atarka World Render. When it attacks, dragons you control have double strike. Not many dragons in the deck, but still flying, trample, 7-drop card. We have a Beanstalk Giant, running cards that make stuff lands, running lots of lands, and then we're running a Protein Hulk. Now, this helps us find more mana dorks, and it's a 7-drop. So, always a fun card to have. Next, we have a couple of artifacts in this deck, and a few planeswalkers, and a couple enchantments, and some instant sorceries. So, we're running an Eldrazi Monument. Great card. Creatures grow, get +1/+1, flying and indestructible. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, you have to sacrifice creature or sacrifice Eldrazi Monument. Now, Scoot Swarm makes tokens. Omnath makes tokens. Avenger of Zendikar makes tokens. So late game, this card is great. You can just sack the cheap tokens, give all your bigger stuff, +1/+1, flying and indestructible, and just start swinging it. The only other artifact we're running in here is a Swiftfoot Boots. Now, yes, Lightning Greaves is better. Yes, running Lightning Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots would be better. I just don't have any other Lightning Greaves to run in here, so just running the Boots. This deck has not had any problems playing games. It keeps up fairly well. It ramps pretty well because you're running mostly mana dorks. And it does its own thing. So I've had fun playing it like this. I know, Could run Soul Ring, could run some Mana Rocks. But why run Mana Rocks when you got all the Mana Dorks? And you could run Lightning Grease, but I don't have one. So we're running 3 Planeswalkers. We got a Xenagos the Reveler. You can add mana to any... Add X mana in any combination of red or green to your mana pool where X is the number of creatures you control. Generally, we're going to have a lot of creatures. You can 0 it to make hasty satyrs. Or you can -6 it and exile the top 7 cards of your library. You can put any number of creatures or lands from among them onto the battlefield. So a great Planeswalker for this deck. We got Domri Raid. You plus it, look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, you may reveal it and put it in your hand. -2, target creature you control fights target creature. Or -7, you get an emblem. Creatures you control have double strike, trample, hexproof, and haste. His emblem and the fighting is probably the best for this deck. Helps get rid of problematic creatures. We got Domri City Smasher. Creatures you control get +1/+1, gain haste. Domri deals 3 damage to any target, or put 3 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control, and those creatures gain trample. So another way to put +1/+1 counters, if you get him to 8, which goes pretty quick because his +2, so he starts at 4, so just 3 turns, you can get to the -8 if you really wanted to. Those are the 3 Planeswalkers in the deck that I'm running. Then for the enchantments, we're running Guardian Project. We're running a lot of creatures. Fires of Yavin Maya gives our creatures haste. We can sacrifice it and target creature gets +2/+2, but usually we're just using it for the haste. Quest for Renewal. So as long as there are 4 more quest counters on Quest for Renewal, untap all creatures you control during each other player's untap step. And then whenever a creature you control becomes tapped, you may put a quest counter on this. This gets to 4 counters fairly quickly because we're running all the Mana Dorks. Instance. Band together. Up to 2 target creatures you control deal damage equal to their power to another target creature. So it's kind of a removal spell. Well, it is a removal spell in a sense. Use 2 big creatures and kill something. We have a Harrow. Sack a land, find 2 lands, because even though we're running all the Mana Dorks, we do have to find our mana. We have a Zoyawa's Justice. The owner of target artifact or creature with mana value 1 or greater shuffles it into the library and then discovers X, where X is the mana value. And then exile the top card of your library until you exile a non-land card with a permanent with a mana value or with a not. Oh, wow, I screwed that up. Exile cards from the top of your library until they exile a non-land card with a mana value equal to or less than the card, and then you can cast it without paying its mana cost. Put the rest on the bottom of your library. And then Ram Through is the last instant we're running, guys. Ooh, a little tongue-tied. It's getting late tonight. So we got 4 cards left in the deck. They're all sorceries, and 3 of them are land ramp. Cultivate, Rampant Growth, and Farseek. And the last one is Lead the Stampede. Look at the top 5 cards of your library and reveal any number of creature cards from among them. Reveal those cards, put them in your hand, put the rest on the bottom. So another way to get us to our creatures. So guys, that's how I'm playing my Raggadragga deck. Let me know down below what you guys think. Yes, it's not CEDH. Yes, I know it could be more optimized. But for my play group, this is kind of where it is. And this is how I'm playing it. So let me know down below. Would you guys play a deck like this? Do you guys like the idea of Mana Dork Tribal, I guess? Would be a good word for it. And leave a comment also what other commanders you might want to see, because I have fun building commander decks, and you know, sometimes I get into slumps because I'll build a handful of decks and then I want to play those for a while. So let me know down below. Maybe there's some other decks that I can build. I'm always up for trying new decks. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you like the deck, or if there's another deck tech I did on the channel that you like, share that deck tech. And I'll see you guys in the next video.